Let's restart. We want to join the bars for warm up. So let's restart. The bar is doing a 24-hour stream. Well, it's been in a few parts. He's done a lot of distance already, so we're gonna do our warm-up together with him. Just join him and ride along with the ride until we have to go to the starting pen for the grid race. It's been a long while since we grid raced. We critted. So I'm curious how we will do. So we have a good 20 minutes to go along with the bar here before we have to go to the starting pen. So a little bit of soft pedaling. Around 20 minutes I'll spike the heart rate just a little bit, because it's a crit race. It's gonna be tough in the start, of course. You want to be warmed up just a little. So I'll probably drop back like 10-15 seconds or something, and then catch them back. That's the plan. It has been a while since we did a crit race, especially the bell lap. Now that the Tour for All is over, those are back on the calendar. It's pretty much looking forward to it. Hey Pazik, how are you, man? Nice, you're back. Nice, you're back on Twitch. I hope it was like a good kind of busy and not a bad kind of busy. I'm really glad the Tour for All is actually over with. We were doing the same races, well, it felt like we're doing the same races over and over again, and the fields were getting smaller and smaller. So the competition was there, but like last race there was only one guy who really was pushing us. He made us go fast, of course, but still it's different. Like this crit race, we'll probably blob it up again. We'll have a hard time catching. I want those, man. I want those. Distracting. Not sure if that was good or bad. I've seen that you did that you've done a lot of few streams last couple of weeks. For some reason I've missed those, so I do want to hop in on your stream in the near future. Woo! Damn! The big boys! The big boys. It's been exactly 2 weeks ago now since we've done the big one outside. Ever since then, we've been focusing a lot on races, because that was I was feeling joy in. I was really having pleasure doing. At first it was really fun because we actually had a few races where we can win in Zwift, which is always amazing, right? If you feel good, you can make some attacks. It doesn't happen to me much that I have the legs to attack in front group. Most of the time I'm just trying to sit in quite an easy, trying to hold on for that sprint. Yeah, I got second in one where we were with 3 in the front. That was stage 5 again, where we did Santa Sequoias. So we went through the desert and then through Titan's Grove. We were a fun group, and this one guy went way too early. We had to chase, and then I lost from the other guy who was with me. But we won all the rest, so that was feeling really good. We won stage 1 twice in Tempest Budget, and we won yesterday, I think it was yesterday, on Heritage UC World Lap, the 14-kilometer lap thing, which was a lot of climbing. But we were feeling really good. We had 3 guys in the front in a little small breakaway, and we got the best of them. smart tactics in the end got us the win, which is important, right? But yeah, I didn't feel like any of those races I really had to go all out. I think the Harrogate was closest to it because it had a lot of climbing in it, and you know that's not our best branch in the game. But yeah, we pulled through. We stuck with the front, and we made it work. But today is gonna be a real test on how our physique is. I think at this point the legs are feeling pretty good. It's gonna be 8 laps of the crit again, 8 laps of the bell lap, so hopefully we'll do good there. A lot of different scenarios, but it has been a while since we've done that. So I'm really looking forward to it and see how we are doing. It's a C race, but those normal crits, you always know there's a lot of sandbags in there. So no problem, it's good training for us, but it makes it harder, right? We haven't had any change in our weight yet, so no difference there. We're still at good old 87 kilograms. We've been watching our diet now for 4 days, and I want to see weekly improvements. So I'm not gonna measure myself every day because that might kill the motivation sooner than it needs to. So I'm having like sort of weekly schedules, weigh-ins, and hopefully in a day or 3-4 we can adjust our weight with 1 or 2 kilograms. That would be awesome. And it's that will give us the boost that we need to launch towards the bees, I think. Hopefully. No chocolate cake anymore, man. No chocolate cake. God damn it. I'm trying to leave out all the alcohol though. How did it go? Yeah, that's better, but it's still, it's healthier, but it's not, how do you say, it still has quite a lot of calories, right? So if I'm wanting to lose pure weight, I have to be careful with everything, even with the healthy stuff. Like today there was a lot of broccoli, a lot of paprika. I don't know what the English name is for paprika. It's pepper, like the red pepper, but not the spicy one, but the sweet one. Sweet pepper? Let's call it sweet pepper. Let's stick with sweet pepper. That's my final answer. So sweet pepper, broccoli, a little bit of tiny potatoes, and I had chicken with that, but the vegetarian variant of chicken, which is basically the same, but it's nice. So that was today. This morning, just a few slices of good bread. Tonight's probably gonna be soup, tomato soup. So yeah, we're working on it, we're working on it. I don't want to crash completely and eat like almost nothing, because we keep want to be doing these races, and I want to feel I want to feel energized the entire day. At this point, this is working perfectly, and I'm not feeling like I have to let a lot of things go, which is important, right? I don't have a feeling like for example, if you say chocolate, if I'm really craving for chocolate, I eat a small piece of chocolate, no problem. But then that's just to get away with the feeling of it. It's not like I'm gonna eat an entire bar or something. And if I'm really craving for a beer, alright, maybe we'll have a beer then. It's just the amount. I wanna be good as much as possible, but I don't wanna cut everything out, because the more you cut out, the more you want it. Two days ago we had a barbecue with friends. We had a beer there because you have to have a beer with a barbecue, man. It's yin and yang. It needs to be together. But as normally we would have like 6 or 7 beers. So we got one just for the taste, just to be. But then that's it. I think if you look at our Zwift Power profile, the last 10 races on Zwift Power have been gold medals. So we have been doing really good on Zwift Power. But if you look at the power we actually have to provide to win those races, we are lower than we can be. That means we don't have to go as hard as we can go. And I'm hoping today will be, to be honest, even I want to be today to be a day that I'm dropped again from the first group. It has been a while since we've done that. It feels so shitty. But if you're being dropped, you know you gave everything you had to stick with them. Like we did in the green cone race 3 weeks ago, where we tried in the B class. We held on for dear life, fighting to stay in that group, and it's such a good feeling to be able to stick with them and go actually max efforts the entire time. And the crit race is something special for that, because it isn't that long. It's 8 laps. It's a little over 20 minutes. So high pace, little rest in between. So it's a good time to show how the legs are. And if you can pick with the front, we might see some good power. It's been a while since we've seen 3.3 average or higher. So secretly I'm hoping to see that today. If not, we're hoping to see a good result, of course. Because if the front group is gentle, we can serve the wheels and not hit our FTP the entire time, right? If they are really punchy and there's a lot of attacks, then we might see 3.3. So that's why I'm really looking forward to this race. This race can be so much. It can be a boring race where you just sit in the back and hold on. There can be many attacks. It can go crazy hard. We can get dropped. So much that can happen. I'm gonna try and reset my heart rate because it's not showing on screen. There it is. Yeah, but the problem is, since today is the first day that the normal races are there again, so I think there were already 40 or 50 people pre-subscribed for this one in my category, so I'm thinking today will be a bigger one again. I'm hoping like 60, 70 or more. But with the 2 for all, in the first weeks, they were pretty heavy loaded. We had 200, 300 people in our category, but at the end, everybody had them done. And I think the last race yesterday, we started like 12 people. 12 people is not a lot. Actually, from those 12, there were 2 guys who really wanted to push hard. There was one guy who was averaging 3.7 watts per kilo. But we got the best of him, luckily. So even though it was only 12 people, we really had a good race. We really went a good effort in it. It both has advantages and disadvantages. If you do a crit race with 150 people, like 50 of them will probably be in a higher category, and you'll feel like a B race. If you're only like 20 people starting a crit race, that means the front group will only be like 5 to 10 people, and that means the pace is going just a tiny little bit less than with the big group. If you're like with 25, 30 people in the front group, there's a really high pace, and there's a little bit more forgivingness if you have a bad hill or there's a little gap. There's other people that can work for you. In a smaller group, you have to probably work yourself a lot. Different styles of racing. Hey Swift, yeah, I saw you too, man. 2 more minutes before we go to the crit. That's exactly what it is, physically. And we don't want them to use us, man. We want to use them as much as possible. And I think I've gotten pretty good at drafting in racing. I see myself as a smart racer more than a punchier one, because I don't have the punches yet in my legs to really attack, right? Like this week, this was the first time in over 1 year on Zwift where we had the legs and the competition to actually cause a breakaway ourselves, which was an amazing feeling, of course, but it's the first time in all this time that happened. Normally I'm just glad I can hold on to the group, and most of the time we're just under FTP trying to catch in those wheels. Every day is different, and today will be different as well. You never know, it only needs like one guy who wants to cause us pain. And we'll get in trouble. It's been a while since we had a really fast, crucial start, and I think this crit race is gonna give that to us as well. We'll probably have to go like 500 watts again for the first minute and a half at least, and then hopefully have a good group established and see how the pace is, and just see how they're doing and try to adjust accordingly. The Bell app is a little bit of one of my favorite, if I have to be honest, because if we manage to stick with the front until lap 8. I do feel like we have the best opportunity because the hill is in the middle of the track and not in the end. Like if you go other way around Dolphin, you still have the bumps coming after it. And people attack on that climb, right? It's such a hard and long sprint. On the bell lap, I feel with the downhill, we can catch some people who attacked on the climb. If there's a gap, it's sometimes possible, it's easier possible to close it. And if we have anything left in the tank, we can go for that sprint. It hasn't always been the case in the past. Those C-class races, they are so unpredictable. Sometimes you're in the front in the end, sometimes they push 2 laps before the end, sometimes they push the last lap. Sometimes you never push. It's just an all sprint. That's the best case for us, I guess. Just sit in the wheels till the last 300-400 meters. Let's go and see to our competition. Is it as hot in USA as with us? It's 27 Celsius here. 27 Celsius is pretty hot. So I'm lucky it's still 1 o'clock. It's in the afternoon. So we are right before the baddest part of the day as for heat wise. I think it will be a sweaty one anyhow. So the people are tuning in, 33 now, 4 minutes left, so maybe around 50? What do you guys think? Around 50 people starting. I always divide the groups by 2 to have a guess at the front group. So if we'll start 50, I'm guessing the front group will be around 20-25 people. If that is the case, we will try to draft as much as possible. I didn't go high in heart rate. I kind of forgot actually. The legs are warm, but the heart rate didn't really went up really high. So hopefully that doesn't bite us in the ass. We'll have the same tactic as always. We'll go 500 watts from the start, something like that, more or less. And just pick on those first wheels who are out there. Then probably some guys will come back. They will slingshot us. We'll get in their wheels. We'll get on top of that first little hill. And then hopefully we'll find a place on the downhill in the group, and probably by then you will see the first group to be formed. It's only 8 laps, but every time I think that during the race, I'm like, man, those 8 laps are fucking long. Jesus. Because we've been doing a few quick races lately with 12 laps and 14 laps. But the pace is adjusted as well, right? So the pace will be higher in this one. So let's see how I'll do. 1 minute and a half. At this point, I'm really hoping to sit in the front group and have a go at the sprint in the end. But you never know with these ones, you never know. We'll just try our best, put our best effort in. We'll probably see a little bit of a higher average in this one than the last couple of races. The crit rate on 8 laps, it's something like some sort of FTP test, right? For us it takes around 20 to 22 minutes. So it's just a tiny test longer than the FTP test. Lots of Japanese guys. I always think they're pretty lightweight. Let's try to find our place in this group here. First lap in the bag. Ah. Face is feeling good, pretty good at this point. I have to be careful after the downhill. That's twice now, there's a little bit of a gap there. So that's a point to be careful of the next couple of rounds. But for now, try to stay in the front, especially on the climb, so we'll have a good start on the downhill. Whew. Lots of power-ups already. Got a good drop here. Around 20 people in this front group. No power-ups for me, guys. We are not lucky on power-ups today. So far so good, right? Halfway there. Halfway there. Hey, first power, guys. Three laps to go. Great pace here. Let's hope this big block doesn't get too enthusiastic. Stay with the front here. There's one guy trying to attack, but I don't think he will get far. Group is too big. Two more laps. Things will get much spicier after next time, I think. Two more laps to go, guys. Come on. Thanks. Oh. Hey, Vetador, thank you so much, man. Last lap, guys. Oh. Oh. It was close to perfection. We just didn't make it. But we done a lot of bodies, right? In that last turn. I was thinking of ramping it up, but then I remembered it was a grid. So there's no ramping up in grid, man. You have to go all out or nothing. Oh, Jesus. Hey, Grinch, thanks, man. Oh. Yeah, but you can see, right? The first one, 4.3 watts per kilo, and the second one, 4.1 watts per kilo. And even the guys behind me, except for the fourth one, were all, I think, a little bit in the wrong category. But overall, it was a really good one, guys. We felt really comfortable in the group, but it wasn't easy at all. We had to watch out on certain points. We had to be in front in the climb and on the downhill. But on the flats, we could recover a bit, which is really important. Which was really important. I'm glad only one guy attacked on the climb, and that was the winner, Mr. Matsumoto, I think. But overall, we were second on the com banner. So after the climb, didn't have the energy, I think, to catch back to Matsumoto, and it was a bit of a gamble. But I stayed with the group, tried to pick those wheels, and tried to find the right time to pop off our sprint, right? I think we did pretty well on that. We closed. It was a hard one, man. They were all pushing for it. But I think we overcome a lot of guys just in front of the line, and that's where we won, right? We even had almost second place, I think. We came on first on the screen. Then we came third, so it must have been a really close one. 0.3. First crit race in a while. Pretty happy with it. 275 watts and 3.2 watts per kilo average is a little bit less than normal. I think the pace was really good from the group, but I think the start was a little bit easier than we're used to in those crit races. Normally those crit races, they start a little bit harder and a little bit longer than that, and that will put us back in the 3.3s, I think. But in the group we were sitting really well, and I'm really glad with the result. Thanks, Physic. Thanks for being here, man. Grinch, thank you. Ventador, thanks for the follow, man. Ha! Guys. Yeah, we had a little bit of after the climb. I think I pushed the climb a little bit hard because I wanted to keep those guys' wheel, and we had used up the power up there, right? We saved it for the last 3 rounds for a moment like that. So I really wanted to hold that third wheel. That first guy was gone, so I didn't want to chase him because I would have been whiffed, and if he got caught, there would be no sprint at all. So I took the safe choice, stuck in those guys' wheel. Then we had a good front group, like you said. It split a bit up after the downhill, and I just clinched myself in that wheels, man. There were a few guys that were ramping it up just a little bit too early, so we had to go for like 340 watts to stick in the group. but we can manage that for 1 or 2 minutes, right? If that's necessary, there's no problem. It just takes a little bit of the edge off of our sprint. If you first have to do 340 watts for 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then straight after that we have to do an all-out sprint, I feel like the sprint is not gonna peak as high as it should be. If you're just sitting like under 300 watts in that group, we can have the best sprint possible at that point, and that's mostly just around the 900 to 1000 watts. I don't think we came close to that this sprint. I mean the start. Yeah, the start was like expected, but if I didn't do it, somebody else would have done it, right? We always start 500 watts. You want to be prepared for the worst. If there's 10 people doing the same and you're not starting at 500 watts, that first group is gone. That first group, because the climb starts so quickly after that start. If you have a 10-meter gap on that first climb, you will burn so much energy trying to catch those guys back, because they're going 400-500 watts until the end of the climb, right? So that's why we always want to hit a really high wattage starting, and if they decide to have a little bit of a softer start, no problem for us. We just hold the legs still for a second and catch the wheels that are coming. I have no problem with that. I even prefer that. But I always want to be prepared, and if there's only like 2 or 3 guys thinking the same as me, then we actually pull the front, and the strongest guy will try to chase us. But the guys that are like, I'm not gonna hold this very long, those will not join us, and that's a good thing, right? Because there might be a good sprinter that we just left alone, or the guys that are really good at keeping like an average wattage but are not good at sprinting. We don't like those guys neither in our group, because they will pull the group speed higher than we want, and they will fatigue us during that, and we won't have a good sprint anymore. So we want to keep that front group as small as possible. Around 10-15 guys is perfect. 20 guys is nice if they do act chill like they did today. But I feel like sometimes there are some bigger sandbaggers in there who are like slingshotting every time and taking like 10-15 meters, and people react to that and the group stretches up. If you're in the back end of the group at that time, you might be in trouble. Now that's why we like this crit race, right? It's built for people in the 80 kilograms. From 80 to 90 kilograms, I think crit race is perfect for you. I feel like I have more advantages on this track than disadvantages. There's only 1 or 2 choking points for me. Today, it's not even the climb in this one, right? It was the downhill. First 2 laps, I tried to explain it while driving, but I was a bit focused. Once we hit the speed, if we are in the front on the climb, we don't have the draft advantage, right? So the group is behind us. They have a draft advantage. They pass us on the downhill, but because they have more speed and more draft than me, it takes a lot of energy for me to get back in that draft again. So if I react too late, there is a gap there, and I have to put like 400, 500 watts in for a few seconds to catch them again, and that's unnecessary wattages. If I just know that they're coming, I can ramp it up just a tiny little bit and get in the flow so much easier. Don't have that gap after that, and I have a much longer resting period. It's true, but they're so short, man. They're so short. Thanks, Physics. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. I really, really appreciate it. But those sprint climbs, like you said, they are a little bit of a disadvantage because it's a climb. But I think, and I'm saying this for all the heavier guys, I think most of the time, if you're heavier, you have a higher wattage and a shorter anaerobic wattage. So I mean, this climb doesn't even take 30 seconds. If you count it from the start to the KOM banner, maybe 20 to 25 seconds, maybe. So it's purely anaerobic, right? You don't need to breathe to get up that hill. It's what happens after that that might be a disadvantage, and that's what's good about the Bala, because right after that big effort of getting on that hill with a good speed, you have that downhill straight away. And if you are in that draft, you have at least normally 1 minute of recovery before you start again. So that's what the advantage is. It can be a disadvantage if they decide to attack on the flat as well and you can't recover there. Then yeah, you probably. But for the rest, I think we have much more advantage. We also have the draft advantage when going into the hill, so you get more momentum going up over those rollers. I always feel like I can make up a few spots on those rollers in this direction. And then if we hit the climb on a decent wattage, on this level we should be able to stay to the front. Yeah, indeed. We didn't get any power up for the first 4 rounds, and then you see that first roller and all of a sudden there were like 8 power ups. Boop, 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 boop. I'm like, what? The climb didn't even start yet. Most of the time you would say that they feel really tired, because if they pop up that power up that soon on the climb, they must feel really shit, right? They must really need that little advantage, because otherwise you'll save it until the steeper part. Just once you hit the turn to the left. But hey, so much for us. They didn't look that tired in the end. They had a really good sprint in them. We had a nice ramp up, and we positioned ourselves pretty nicely there, and we got the 3rd position, and I'm really happy with that. I'll take 3rd any day of the year. In a 50-50 Kai field, I'm really happy with this result. And if you see the wattages around us, those were all high 3s, low 4s, so really good place. I think we might try a ramp test soon, or maybe some workouts, right? I really wanna push my FTP just a tiny little bit higher, and although I really enjoy races, maybe only racing is not what we need. Maybe we need something a little bit more different as well. It's been a while since we've done a workout, but I think this week we'll try another workout, man. We'll try another workout, a little bit of a longer one, with some nice longer 300 plus watt stints in it, just to get used to it. Let's have a quick look at Zwift Power, if the results are there yet. If not, we're gonna hit the shower. Aye. So we got the gold medal. We got a lot of gold medals lately, but all different races, man. All different races. I think soon we'll have to go to the Bs, even though we like to challenge ourselves for the podium places, and we will get dropped a lot in B races. Maybe we should focus a little bit more then on mixed races, like an in-between one. where A, B, C, D starts together. At that point, we just follow the fastest group as we can, right? So even though we are a C rider, we might get together with some Bs and push it a little bit harder. So maybe that's a thing to go to, because if we stick only with the C class like we now, we enjoy that very much. But as you can see, a lot of gold medals. At some point we have to be like get the hint and try to do something different. Because we're fighting, we only got third in Zwift itself, but yeah, on Zwift probably always got the gold. So I think maybe yeah, we'll start to focus a little bit more on mixed races soon. It might be a little bit hard sometimes to want and keep pace with the A's and the B's and not being capable of holding it. But then again, you always have some worse B's and some C's to count on and have a good race anyhow. So yeah, that's my guess. Some mixed races and some workouts this week. I think that's the plan. I'll see how that goes. If that goes well, we keep on doing that, because we really wanna make that bridge to the B's, but I don't wanna go to the B's and be dropped after 5 minutes every race, right? I don't think that's what we want, what we enjoy, right? So I think a mixed race is a perfect race time for that. We can try and hold on with the B's, and we can see if we are able to stick with them more and more often. If we can stick with them, we know we are soon a B. If we can't stick with them, we can follow back on the worst B's and the C's, and still have a really good race and train and have fun. We'll not fight for those podium race spots, but we'll fight for our best possible outcome. My heart rate is back under 100 now. Nice. Are you going to get on the bike physics today, or are you just going to learn today? Oh. Ooh, nice FPT test. Man, those are the worst. Those are the worst. You're gonna do the full FPT test, the 20-minute one, or you're gonna do the ramp test? Those feel so bad, man. Those 20 minutes are so mentally tough to hold on. The ramp test, I like, for myself, I like a little bit more because it builds up, and then you actually have like 5 or 6 minutes of all-in effort. But 20 minutes of that, oh. Really? Then enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. I feel like we've got the first 8 to 10 months. I was really, every time I was on my bike, I was going 110%, and I was having so much trouble. If I see these wattages, these have been my full FTP, or even higher than my FTP for a long time. And today we did this one, feeling pretty good the entire race. Until the last lap, just before the climb, just at the climb, we were sitting really chill, right? So it's only at the last lap, at that climb, for that, how long is that? 1 minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. That last 2 minutes, that's where it really hurts and you really suffer. But all the rest in front, those 18 minutes before that, they're really okay. They are hard, but you don't have to fight yourself mentally at that point. You just have to be careful, push where you can. But if you push, you feel strong in your mind, man. It feels so good if I say I'm gonna close this gap and I'm doing it, and okay, I close it. Like a few months ago, if I would say that no, I cannot close it, I'm gonna sit here and let somebody else do it because I'm whiffed, man. I'm done. And then sometimes somebody else does it and you get back, but sometimes they don't do it and then you get dropped. But now I have more power to change the race to my advantage and to stick with the front better. You can really feel that. That's the real difference for me in the races. I still feel fatigued, but it's mostly because of the last 2 minutes. But my recovery time is so fast. I could do another quick race at this point. If I queue up now, I could do the same race again as we just did. My last 2 minutes will be probably just a tiny little bit less, but I'm pretty sure we'll be back with the front group the entire time. And that's what's the difference between myself now and myself a few months ago. My recovery time in between efforts and the power I can use in those small efforts. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here so much. If it wasn't for you, man, I wouldn't have been here, for sure. You and the other guys who drop in here every time I stream, try and support me and motivate me, keep me strong. You guys keep me coming back for more. Even if there's a day like I'm not feeling it, I'm like, yeah, we have to do it, man. We have to do it. We have to stream. We have to get better. We have to get better, and then we see the results are getting better. But I just want a little bit more power. I want a little bit more power, man. I want to see those 300 watts numbers. We're close, but we're not there yet. So once we're there and we lose a little bit of weight, I will be so happy. I will feel so strong. But we're getting there. We're getting fitter, we're getting better, we're getting stronger, and we're getting more and more comfortable each time we do it. We keep a little bit of nervousness, but that's normal. Even today, before the sprint race, there's a little bit of a nerve, like something like, I hope I don't fail today, that kind of feeling. Like I hope I'm not gonna fail, I hope I'm not gonna get surprised or dropped by the front group, not being able to follow, get hurt in my lungs or something, that get away from a certain effort. But then in the end it's like, oh yeah, well, there was nothing to be afraid of, man. We were really strong, we were really good, and that finish, that last sprint, it's always different, and as long as you give your best, it's the best you can do, right? Today it was a really good one, 3rd place. We got some better. The last couple of races we've done really good in the sprint, but that's all because we get an easier ride towards the sprint. Beforehand, we were maybe able to stick with the front group, but we were really tired of sticking with the front group and trying to get to the finish line, that there wasn't any sprint anymore. But now you can see, if you see my numbers here, those are always the finishing sprints, right? So here I was at 10 watts per kilo, but then if you go back, you see it's always less and less. Those are the hard races, man. 270 watts is almost the same race as today, but no sprint left. No sprint. 5.4 watts per kilo. That's like 450 watts. This, well, yesterday we did probably 800 watts. And most of the time, it's this number that's deciding if you're gonna win the race or not. It's not gonna be your 20-minute FTP or your overall average. It's gonna be the last 15 seconds that decide if you're first or 7th or 10th or 20th. Yeah, I was really bad in it, but we see so much improvement on that. That's why I want to, one of the reasons why I want to try and do another workout this week, to get those like 4-minute power goals and see, get mentally prepared for them, right? I know I can hold 300 plus watts for a certain time, but I'm not sure how long. So every time I'm over that 300 watts, I'm thinking, oh, I'm working hard now. And I'm getting a little bit scared because I don't really know how long I can hold that. And if we do trainings and workouts where we have, for example, hold 360 watts for 3 minutes, next time we're in a race, we know we can hold 360 watts for 3 minutes. And that's a really good thing if you wanna try and gap somebody, even if it's closing it in because you're behind, or if you wanna get away from somebody. It's nice to know that you can give a little punch and then okay, we're 40 minutes in, I can hold 360 watts until 60 minutes and a half, and then see where we're at. But at this point, I really have no idea. I know I have some of an idea, but yeah, it's easy to get scared if you have to, oh damn, I have to hold 400 watts for 40 seconds. I know I can do that, but yeah, if you do it in a workout a couple of times, you have so much more knowledge of your current condition. And it's been a while since we tested our 1 minute power or 4-minute power. It's been a while since we done that. I think it's been since Tour de Zwift where you have to, or no, the academy. It was the academy. In the academy, we got all those results during those workouts, and those numbers are still standing. And I'm pretty sure, like my 1 minute power is 534 watts. I'm pretty sure I can beat this one. Might not be win a lot, but I'm pretty sure we can beat this one. My 5-minute power, Beyond Grid power is 335 watts. I'm pretty sure we can beat that one as well. My 50-second one we can beat for sure. So yeah, trainings might adjust this, but these results are only from races, right? Those are not from training, right? So I'm done for the day. I'm gonna hit the shower. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna take the bike out today, but just for recovery rides with the family. So no big tours or something. Just a few kilometers. Play on the children stuff, and I come back. That's it. But yeah, enjoy the good weather. Have a good time. I'm glad if I do these races around noon, you have the rest of the day to relax, right? If you do it in the evening, you're like pumped, and the entire evening is filled with energy. So yeah, we're going to do that, and then tomorrow either with noon when my daughter is asleep, or evening, depending on my daughter. When she's asleep, we'll have another one. So if you're here, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today. Fizik, thank you. I really appreciate, man. Your support has been amazing. And I hope to catch your stream, one of your next streams soon. I've rewatched some of them on your channel, but I haven't caught live one yet until now. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow for the next one. Not sure yet what we're gonna do tomorrow, depending on the time, but it's probably either a race, but then a mixed race, or a training ride. And then the training ride we probably combine with a badge, if it's there. So one of both. If there's a race, mixed race starting, we'll do that. If there's none, we'll do training, and we might try and get a 4 minute or 5 minute power training, right? I don't know how it's called, workout. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or one of the next streams. Thank you so much.